Okay, this is the quick how to use data extraction to pull out your radial and force vectors, remembering of course that we're going to do things by making sure we draw our radial vectors and our force vectors in the correct direction, or use, if you would, either Lisp routines or use script files, or in SketchUp use Ruby scripts to write your vectors in the correct direction. So I'm going to put my spine of the structure on center line, and remember, we can learn to draft finally without thinking too much by using the relative commands or by using absolute commands. Line from 0, 0, 0 to 0, 0, 100. You're in 3D. If you need to be there, v point 1, 1, gets you to the point where you can see the structure. I'm going to draw a line from the end point there to the northeast by saying at 50 angle 45 angle 0. You don't see that because v point 1, 1, point 1, point 5, 1. You can see that's turned around. We've put our structure basically on the center line. I'll do another line here from the midpoint, and I'll put at 25 angle 270 angle 0, and I've got a second structure there. And now I'm going to make a layer, minus layer, new force. And I'm going to not even worry about the color of the layer anymore, because we're going to change the color of the radial vector force pairs, because the management by color is going to enable us to pull that information out and match. When we put that in a spreadsheet or in a mathematical file or whatever, we're going to calculate and match our radial and force vectors for doing moment calculations. So I'm going to do a new, and I'm going to call it radial. I'm going to now change my layer to radial and draw my two radial vectors. At this point in time, I'm going to draw my radial vectors from 0, 0, though later on we'll be able to change them. Line from the end point here to the end point here. That's one radial vector. Line from the end point here to the end point there. So I've got two radial vectors. I haven't changed the color. And now I'm going to change my layer to the force vector layer. Again, I'm not worrying too much about color. I'm going to change my colors a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and draw one down and one up. Line from the end point there. I'm going to go at 0, 0, 50 up. And I'll do line here from the end point here at 0, 0, minus 20. Remember, those can be in 3D. What we're finally going to do then is going to change, make sure that you've got your layers on the right. You will manage, I presume, what you'll do is you'll change for your eye, change the line type, if you would, for the vector. So these vectors can now be managed by both their layer and their color. Now the command, which is more or less similar to field, but which seems to allow us a little bit more opportunity to do some post-processing, is data extraction. Data extraction, basically, you need to save your drawing. Save that for now. Data extraction, we can either create a new one. I'll create a new one right now, or use an existing one, which will be more standard. In this case, we'll call it forces out. It's pretty straightforward. We're going to select objects in the drawing. You'll see sometimes you might want to just grab the radial forces in one pull and your force vectors in the other, but I'm going to grab all of the things that I want. 1, 2, 3, 4. You could use a filter command just to grab things on a particular layer if you would. You're going to go next here. You're going to actually pull out the lines, and the only information you're going to really want in the end it seems to want to force the angle out with you. So you're going to go ahead and take that. You're going to bring the color, the delta, X, Y, and Z in the layer. You, of course, can grab anything else that you want, but these ones will keep that data kind of limited to what you need to look at and play with in your Excel file. So you're managing the layer is going to tell you what kind of vector it is. The color is going to give you the matching, so you can match the. In the end, you might want to bring the line type as well out, but you want to be able to match the radial vector to the force vector when you do your calculations in whatever program you're going to use to do your sum of moments. You hit next here. It kind of shows you what you're pulling out there. I guess you could add comments. I guess that's pretty nice if you've got comments on it. We could do links. All we're going to do here at this point is we're going to send it out to some format. You're going to have to decide which you're going to do. I'm going to output the data right here to temp.xls, hit next and hit finish. Right there you have now in temp XLS. I'll bring that up, start,